Hello, everybody. Welcome to Strategize Your Business Online. This live is designed for entrepreneurs like yourself who are looking for a dose of business inspo and ideas to grow your business in the online space. My name is Dee Boswell-Buck, and I am the digital marketing strategist behind Boswell-Buck Creative Consulting. And what we do is we help you to connect with your dream clients in the online space with strategy. I'm also the host of this show, Strategize Your Business Online. So before we get started, whatever platform you're watching this on, which by the way, we usually stream live on LinkedIn. And today, yay, we are also streaming live on Facebook. So let us know your name, who you are, and whether or not you have a business, just chime in and let us know that you're here. We're so appreciative of the fact. And also, if you're watching this a little bit later, please do the same. Share your name, where you're from. We don't need your exact address, but where in the world are you right now? And also, if you have a business, please let us know the name of your business, who it is that you serve, and how it is that you help your dream client. So thank you so much. So I am very excited, and I always enter that sentence when I'm introducing a guest about how excited I am. But I think that we've got some really great guests on the show. And again, we have struck gold. So I am going to read her bio first. And who I have here today is Amanda Reid. Amanda Reid is a professional makeup artist and hairstylist in the Greater Toronto area and surrounding areas. Within her company, AMR, Amanda Reid Makeup, Amanda leads a team of elite artists who take on clients in the bridal event, corporate, and commercial facets of the industry. The brand operates with professionalism at the forefront. Clients find them helpful and accommodating, which is achieved through the company's detailed oriented and organized approach. Now, Amanda and her team, they service corporate, commercial, fashion, prom, personal events, film and television, and print. Now, Amanda and her team, they've been featured in Elegant Wedding Magazine 3 times. And they were listed as the top 6 Toronto makeup artists. And you can see this in the online space at the website, thebesttoronto.com. Congratulations, by the way, well deserved.
Thank you.
All hair and makeup services are offered on site, meaning that her team, they come to you. I love that. All I heard was convenience. And her goal is to make your hair and makeup experience as simple and convenient as possible. Well, Amanda Reid, thank you so much for being on our live Strategize Your Business Online. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm really good. Thank you so much for having me. It's always good chatting with you, Dee. We
Yeah.
always cover topics that I think are definitely personal to each of us, but common to entrepreneurs across the board, right? And when you're an entrepreneur, you tend to feel alone until you talk to other entrepreneurs and realize, oh, you go through that too. Oh, you had that bump in the road too. Oh, you hit that high, then that low. So it's really, really nice to chat about entrepreneurial life because for the most part, we spend our time alone. We may have
Mhm.
teams, but we still operate in that solo, realm. And so it's always nice to discuss, the ins and outs.
Yeah, and we're certainly not alone right now. Like right now, I see Risa here, and she is from Oshawa. Hello. She's watching us live from Facebook, and she is the owner of Hand to Heart Being. And thank you so much. You are making the very first comment from Facebook since we've been doing this live. And so I appreciate you for watching. So, Amanda, even though we, gave that really great bio, you have so again we've had conversations,
Mhm.
and so I'm really excited for you to share some of what I know to the online space. So if we can start off with who you are and what is it that you do.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, my name has already been put out there. It's Amanda Reid. I have been doing makeup and hair for just shy of 20 years. I can't believe it. Where did the time go? But that's a good sign that you're doing something you love when the time just zips by and you think, wow, I can't believe it's been that long. So it's been about 20 years of hair and makeup, working in the GTA, the surrounding areas, and actually everywhere. Now I can honestly say we've been everywhere, which is really great because it keeps it interesting, it keeps it different, keeps it fresh, and you never really get into a rut of driving down the same street to the same building, sitting at the same desk. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I just do like to have that variety. So I've been doing hair and makeup for almost 20 years. I do have the business, the company, AMR, Amanda Reid Makeup. I have a team of 9 artists. So there's hairstylists and makeup artists. And we are also structured in a 3-tier format. So we have junior artists, we have senior artists, and we have myself as the head artist. And one of the reasons for doing that was so that we could offer our service to a wider range of clientele. And the idea of that is some people are very specific about who does their hair or who does their makeup, and they want a certain level of artistry or a certain level of experience. There's others who it's not that important to them. And I know that. I really recognize that. And it took me a little while to recognize that, but I'm glad that I did, because when you stop holding on to what you think clients want and just accept what they want, you move forward, right? Like you make strides. So what I had to accept was some people don't really care about hair and makeup, but they want it done on a minimal level so that they can just walk down the aisle looking a little better than, normal, and know that they didn't break the bank doing that. So I had to accept that. So that's why we're structured in a 3-tier format. We have the juniors, seniors, and myself, and people can just choose. What do you want? Are you really important? Are you really hung up on experience level, or are you more concerned about budget? Because that is a legitimate thing for people, especially in the wedding industry, in the bridal industry. When you have how many vendors you're paying, it adds up real fast. So that is something that we had to really take into account, and that's why we restructured that way. So we do service bridal clients, lots of event clients, but a big chunk of our business is corporate as well. So we do a lot of work on set, either in a photo shoot setting or a video shoot setting for corporations or commercials. So that's something that we really like to do because it's a huge change of pace. So when you go into a bridal setting, it's a shorter period of time, the emotions are higher, the time is really important, right? And then when you leave that and go into a corporate setting where it's a little bit more clinical, right? Like your feelings don't matter that much, right? You just got the job to do and you do the job. It's a slower paced day. So it's you get these 2 really different types of environment to work in. So that also keeps it interesting. So we get to service a lot of different people, and we have different levels of artistry so that we can accommodate more people.
Right. Awesome. And I love that you've realized that, because I think the fact that you've got this 3-tier system, as entrepreneurs, it's like we say to ourselves, I know what my audience needs. I know what my client avatar needs. And that does stop us from progressing, as you said, because
Yeah,
sometimes we
sometimes.
just have to ask, or we have to just find out more, right? And it would be very helpful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so true. We just have to really it's okay to know what your services are worth, but it's also okay to recognize that there's people who still want the service but cannot maybe do that cost. And they're still worth maybe trying to service if you can find a way to do that within the structure of your business. So for my business, it
Right.
was possible. For all businesses, that's not possible. But for us, I stepped back and said, okay, can we somehow make that work? And we could. So that's what we had done.
Awesome. So, Amanda, how did you get into makeup artistry?
Oh man. Oh well. So, because I sometimes I'm like, how do I condense 20 years? But I want to make sure I hit some important points. And I think the biggest takeaway about my journey getting into makeup and having a business, the biggest takeaway was my pursuit of fulfillment. Okay. So when I got into makeup, I was, toying with ideas of law school and working towards that, and that didn't happen. I decided that was not the path. When I did decide on makeup artistry, it was a little scary because anything artsy, we don't know how much money we're gonna make, and there's not even a real path. You kind of just have to figure it out as you go, and that's scary, right? So I did go to trade schools for hair styling and for makeup artistry. Once I was finished with those, I was working in the industry mainly in just like small independent films, small independent commercials, like low budget sort of things, and free stuff, to be honest. Like you're just trying to get experience, build your skills, meet people, make contacts. That's what I did for about 3 years. I started to actually make real strides. And that was around the same time that I realized I didn't really want to do that line of work. It was very long days. Being on set is very long days. And
Mm-hmm.
it just wasn't appealing to me. And that was really disappointing because that was when I got into makeup, I'm like, gonna work in Hollywood with Spielberg. I was so sure. And as an entrepreneur, you get these rude awakenings that you're not ready for, where you realize, oh, I don't like that. And you have to pivot, right? So that was my first pivot. Um, I ended up after floating, I call it floating because I didn't know what I was doing for 6 months. I was just doing anything. But so after floating for about 6 months, I ended up signing on to a South Asian bridal hair makeup company where they only serviced South Asian brides like Indian, Pakistani, Bangladeshi, etc. And I was working on a team under two Indian sisters, and they taught me everything about how to dress Indian brides and how to do this and that. And it was pretty cool. I actually wasn't excited to do it. I just needed to make some money, and I was going to make a little bit of money
Mm-hmm.
with them. But as I started to work, to my surprise, my first encountering of fulfillment happened, which was I was getting these really sincere, heartfelt thank yous from people for being a part of their day, for executing on a vision that they've had since they were small. Um, just being a part of the festivities, it was like, oh wow, this is really great. I feel like I'm actually impacting somebody's life in some way, So I thought, I think this might be where I'm supposed to be. After 2 years, that company closed down and I struck out on my own. I said, okay, well, I think bridal is definitely a thing. I'm going to keep going. Um, I did that for 2 years on my own, and I started to have to turn people down, like potential clients down, because I couldn't be in two places at once, right? And so then I ended up hiring one makeup artist and one hairstylist to help me. And that was a great year. And then the next year, I needed two more. And then the next year, I needed two more. And then the next year, I needed two more. And so it grew without my intention of having this business, but it kind of grew on its own and revealed to me, hey, like you kind of got something good going on here. And it was also my second moment of fulfillment, realizing, oh, I can give work to other people. So I can eat and other
Mm-hmm.
people can eat too. And I can also help them skip that starving artist stage where, you're eating macaroni and corned beef and not making a lot of money. I can help them fast track through that. So that was really like, another moment of fulfillment where I realized, oh, I can really help other people make money while we are taking care of people and making an impact on their day. So that was wonderful. And where we're at now, I have a team of 9. They are
Mm-hmm.
fantastic. I am actually still looking to add 3 or 4 more new artists to the new, not necessarily new artists, but just new to the team for 2024 because the demand is there. And it's given me I guess, a bigger vision of, okay, what are we stepping into now? Like, there, we need, as the company grows, as you have more bodies, more voices, you have to streamline your policies. You have to streamline how people do things. We have to be on the same page with how we deal with certain situations, regardless of if it's, Joanna or Shelly. Everybody has to deal with things the same way. So it has me
Mhm.
thinking in those terms. And also, how can we increase our reach? Because if we're going to have the manpower, we definitely want to increase our reach. And the reach is not to have a monopoly on the hair and makeup industry, but to continue to provide the team members with work, to continue to provide clients with top of the line customer service and quality services. So the hair and makeup, when they get it, it's great, but also the process leading up to that is also, again, organized, detail oriented. Everybody knows what's happening. There's no detail left out. And I do feel that having that approach, having that approach helps clients feel like they're in safe hands. Like, okay, no, she remembered. I told her that she remembers this. She's given me everything I need to know a week before. There's no, there's nothing left to not know, and they feel safe. And so that's why, I say that our approach is, to have professionalism. We operate with professionalism, and to always service clients with detail and organization, and that makes them feel safe. So that's kind of where we are now. We're going to add more to the team and really hone our practices, and just make sure that everybody knows what's going on at every stage, team and clients.
Well, congratulations for, continuously growing. That is amazing.
Thank you.
Can't wait to talk to you one day. And it's like I'm adding another two more.
Yes.
Um, yeah, awesome. And right now, I saw somebody in the chat. Hello, Valentine. She says, "Hi, ladies. So nice seeing this." And she is
Oh,
watching from Markham. And she has a salon hair business, and it's in Vaughan, Woodbridge area, and it's called Swiss Hair Inc.
yes.
And I highly recommend that you check her out.
Yes, she's actually one of my hairstylists, one of my senior hairstylists. So
Oh, see,
yes,
awesome.
Valentine is great. And, you know,
Yeah, she is.
that's also something that I like to make clear. I have people on the team, but they are not under a contract that doesn't allow them to do their own thing, right? My hope is that they eat, and they eat from whatever they can get on their own, and they eat from what I provide for them. So that is the goal. And Valentine does great. She's just opened her new salon, which is exciting. Like, we celebrate these things, right? So we celebrate Valentine for having her own salon now, and she still comes out and does amazing work. And it's great. It's great to see that.
And I just want to say, Valentine, if you could put your handles, like where we can find you in the online space, if you can share your Instagram account, Facebook, when it comes to marketing, like whenever I see people are doing, just showing up to do marketing, and then, she does an amazing job. So everyone, please make sure that you check out her social media accounts. So on to some more questions. So our topic today is about, our zone of genius as entrepreneurs.
Mhm.
And I wanted to talk about, like, how is it that we are sharing that online to the world? Because we want to, just as you said, we want to do things that we love to do. And then of course we would love if people can hire us to do those
Yes,
things.
that always.
So yeah, so it's like, how is it, Amanda, that you put that word out there so that people are quite clear about what it is that you do? In fact, like, there's some aspects of your for your makeup and hair team, you're just known for your expertise and the skills and whatnot. So how do you show your zone of genius online?
Well, I mean, we definitely continue to post, right? Like, I mean, posting, showing up in your posts, showing up in your stories is eh, consistently. The word consistently is important to say as well. Um, is important, and we definitely try to stick with that. What I like to do with my post is I like to show results that we can give, but I also like to explain often what's happening behind the results. Like, how did we get there? How do we deal with fine hair? How do we approach mature skin differently when it comes to makeup? I like to always teach. I think I'm inherently a teacher, which is why I do workshops as well. I think I'm inherently a teacher, and I just don't see the point in just posting a nice picture, because people can admire it and think and feel like it's beyond anything that they can achieve on their own, or not know if it can be applied to them. And I want to give background so that they understand how we come to these results and how it can be applied to someone else. So I always like to give a little bit of teaching with my posts, which I think lends to what people see as expertise. They see not just the pretty picture that might have been an accident. Like, that might have been the first time that artist got there, right? But when you give some background on how you got there, I think what potential clients understand is that it wasn't an accident. There's definitely a process, a thought process, a plan of action that goes into it. And I believe, without proclaiming to be an expert, I think that's how people believe you to be an expert, when you just provide the goods without saying, well, our expertise produce this photo. No, what does your expertise tell you? How did you get there? This is how we got there. And I like to break it down for people so they understand what was going on behind the results.
Yeah, I love that you do that. And so I went through my third set of brand photos.
Mhm.
And yeah, so I've always used your team, Amanda.
Yeah.
So when I was still working at my 9 to 5, and I was like, I just feel like I need photos that will take me, over the top type of thing. And you did my makeup, and then of course, in our business we're elevating to like new levels, and I reached out to you 2 years ago, and then it was just about maybe 3 weeks ago, and knowing that, when I scroll through your feed, knowing that you explain, and I just love your reels too. Like, you've got some really great reels where you are speaking about why we should do this versus this, or your
Mhm.
take on such and such. So yeah, when I shared my experience on social media, knowing that, scrolling through your feed, you'd love to show the before and after. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just amazed. It was the first time that I ever worked with Carol, who came to the site to do my makeup. And she was just amazing. But yes, if you were to go to take a look at the post, everybody, that maybe went up, oh, I don't know, maybe October 2nd or so, you see Carol working on me. And yep, I'm wearing like a wrinkled dress. It was quite comfy though. And my makeup and my hair. And I get many compliments on my outfit, my
Oh, it
my
was
my makeup and
just
my hair.
perfection all
So
around. It was so
yeah,
beautiful. It was so
yeah.
beautiful.
And even in my DMs on LinkedIn, somebody said, Dee, I just love, the way this looks, right? So
Mhm.
yeah, great work that you do.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And I mean, finding the right team members, not just skill wise, because it's definitely important to find people who are skilled, who know their art, their particular art. It's another story to find people who are kind, who are warm, who genuinely care about the client. Because for someone like me who has a team, who contracts them onto different jobs, it's really important for me to rest easy, knowing that they can handle any situation that comes up, that they will handle it with professionalism, they will keep a cool head, they're not going to lose their temper. I mean, those things really help my peace of mind, but that's what you want. You want people who are going to represent the company, your company, the same way you would, right? With the same care and respect, and knowing that the behavior you put out there, it gets back, like it gets around. And so someone like Carol, someone like Valentine, And honestly, my whole team, there's no one on the team that I ever think, ooh, please don't don't tell her you don't like what she did. She's gonna flip out. Like I don't have that worry. And to be honest, I actually had in the past, since I started officially the business, which is probably about 15 years, um, I've only had two people that I had to let go. And I realized I wanted to give people chances and make sure that I wasn't taking away someone's ability to eat, because that is something that really sits with me. I want to make sure that I'm giving people work and I'm not taking work from them. But I had someone who wasn't respectful to clients, who had a bit of a temper, who was like very prickly, who could be prickly. I'll use that word. And
Mm.
um, I had to just come to terms with the fact that they weren't a right fit. And I wasn't doing anything wrong by saying you're not a right fit for what we do. So when you're, hiring people, it was something I'm very careful with. And I really go off energy. I always go off energy. Carol's great energy, Valentine's great energy, the whole team is. So um, that's something I always keep in mind when I'm looking for people.
Yeah, that's good that you're tapping into your intuition there.
Yeah,
So Amanda,
it's
one of the things that, yo,
mhm.
sorry, go ahead.
No, that was it. That was it.
Yeah, you know what? Intuition is so key for business owners.
Mhm.
Um, Especially like as you mentioned, you're doing your business on your own and you're not asking the questions. Like if you're at a 9 to 5, you're asking your boss the questions. You've got some guides, but
Yes.
it's a lot of pressure. So it's huge when we just tap into what's not feeling right. What is feeling a little prickly? Is that person a little prickly?
Yeah.
This is not working for me.
Yeah, you do. You have to just really be honest. And I mean, anyone who is an entrepreneur, you again, like you sometimes try to force things, right? You try to force things to work, and you have to really just keep honesty forefront. Is this working or not? If it's not, it's okay. There's probably something better, but you just haven't thought of it yet. You don't see it visually yet, but there's something better. But you have to let go of the thing that's not working, right? So, and that's also the pivot, right? The pivot is okay, things have changed. This doesn't seem to be working. I have to stop doing that. What can I do instead to bring us forward, or um to now adapt to the new conditions? I mean, we all went through the pandemic, and
Mm.
everybody had to do this major pivot, right?
Oh my goodness.
I personally thought, well, my workshops, I had started to book like corporate workshops where I was going to have teams of like real estate, and I had just started to book those, and the pandemic shut everything down, and I was like, oh man, I was going to be in there in person doing them. And then I thought, well, I can't do it online. How do you teach makeup online? Right. But I had to figure it out. And I did. And you know what? It's actually easier to do it online, believe it or not. But I didn't see it in that moment. But you do have to pivot and say, okay, what is working? What isn't? Now, how do we change to adapt to the current circumstances? So yeah, it's just a constant um kind of staring in the mirror and saying what's working, what isn't working, what
Yeah.
doesn't feel right anymore.
Yeah, and sometimes it can be that things are not working, or it could be there's a pandemic, but there's always going to be a time in our lives as
Mhm.
being an entrepreneur that we have to make some hard decisions and we have to do the thing to keep the business going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Always. Yeah.
Absolutely. Always at the forefront. How do you keep things going? And I think that was one of the things that you had brought up in just our pre-discussions about just like, well, you had asked me about what do I do to keep the business going, and how do I keep, maybe the marketing at the forefront? And my answer was, it was really just about creating habits so that when you are feeling poopy, and when you are, when you don't feel like, you're just exhausted and you don't feel like doing the work, that you don't rely on feelings or motivation. You revert to habit. Okay, well, what do I always do? Well, I always write, my post on Sunday or Monday. So that's what I'm going to do. Even though I don't feel like it, I know that's what I do. And you do it. even though you're working through these emotions that want you to stay in bed, or like your personal life has hit the fan, right? You have all these things going on, but you can't abandon ship. You can't just abandon your business. You still have clients depending on you. If you have a team, your team is depending on you. So in those times when your personal life is upside down, or you're having, whatever issues, and you don't feel like doing the work, what gets you through it? What's the habits? The habits get you through it, right? So yeah, there's definitely a couple habits that I try to keep. Like I said, writing posts on Sunday or Monday, and checking certain websites for leads, for 15 minutes every single day, and just making sure I reach out to previous clients and getting requesting Google reviews. These are just habits that
Mhm.
don't really, I mean, they don't really require that much thought. The writing of posts, yeah, you kind of got to sit and think, but these are just things that you can do that don't feel like much, but they are still keeping you moving. And the important thing with entrepreneurship is to keep moving even when everything feels upside down, right?
Yes, absolutely. So I wanted to ask you about your online makeup workshops. Like, I'm curious to know if you still have them, but hold on. I just want to say that in 2021, I took the course.
Yes,
And so, I mean, I had already worked with you,
yes,
and oh gosh, in 2020, yes, 2021, I took it in this maybe in the winter of that year. And because I like makeup, right? I can't guarantee that at the time or that I have it on properly, but I like it. And like even it's the little things. Like I go to the supermarket and my staple is like the mascara. I like my eyes to pop,
yes,
and that works for me. And what I was noticing with the pandemic, like everybody was moving to Zoom, and if you weren't careful, for me, I just thought that I wanted to show up as my best self, even though it's on Zoom, right? So we
yeah,
hear the stories about pajama bottoms and underneath, and
yeah,
that is okay. That is fine. But yes, I always wanted to know, like when I would go to an in-person networking event in 2019, I got done up to the nines. I had the big hair, the bright colors, whatever the case is.
hmm,
And then, showing up on Zoom, I just wanted to show up. It was still visual. And I took the course and I loved it. And I'm thinking about some of the things that I learned, and then I'm going to let you have the floor.
yeah.
Like my eyebrows, I've always like powdered my eyebrows. I don't have I am thinking about it, about getting what is it when you get them more like permanently done?
Oh,
Um,
there's a few things. There's microblading, which is
yeah.
actually a little bit in the past now. There's
Oh,
ombre. Yeah, there's ombre and there's nano. If you are a virgin eyebrow person who's never done anything to them, do nano. It is unbelievable. It is actually one of the best advancements I've seen. It is amazing. It's amazing.
just wrote it down. Yeah.
Nano. It looks so
Yeah.
realistic. Yeah.
Well, so that's great. And I wrote that down. So I always like I just use some powder and I do my eyebrows. And I
Yeah.
always start here. And one of the things that you had us do was like measure our eyes, right?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
discovered that my eyes are slightly like wide. It's
Yeah.
wide. It's not just perfect. So
Yeah.
now I start my powdering like just not right at the tip, but I just kind of go back a bit. Game
Yeah.
changer. Or even like my powder. But your workshops are not just about like what makeup brand to use.
Yeah.
Maybe you could describe it, but it was a game changer for me. It always allowed me to show up as my best self. When I would, after breakfast, I'm all dressed up, got the makeup on. And even now I work from home and my family's like, oh, are you going out? Where are you going? And I'm like, I'm going to work. And I go to the other room and I turn on my computer, right?
Yeah, yeah. And actually, you know what? I actually mentally said to myself, "Oh, her makeup looks nice." Like, so I mean, good for you. I'm the teacher, very proud of the student. The workshops are often surprising to people when they take them. they do think, I think the general belief is that I'm just going to tell you what brands are good and just what to do step by step. It's more than that. It's actually really understanding what your features are on your face, how they behave, from a ratio perspective, and how you work with that. It's never about trying to change anything on your face, which I know people love contouring. Contouring became a big thing when YouTube sort of took off. It's not about trying to contour to give yourself cheekbones. It's really about understanding what is your face shape, where are your eyes placed, right? What's your undertones? Like, these are things that matter when you are going to make purchases of products, and it matters when you're going to choose what techniques to use on your face. And that's definitely something I make sure that people understand from the beginning. And then I do try to find out, first of all, what is it you have in your makeup bag? Because you may have all the right things, right? Like you love makeup, but you weren't 100% clear on exactly what you should do with your face. You wouldn't believe how many people are in that group. And sometimes I see makeup bags that rival my work bag, right? Like, and I'm like, what are you doing with all this stuff? You said you don't really wear makeup because you don't know what to do with it, but you have everything, right? So sometimes people have everything and they don't know what to do. So my first step is to see what it is you have, see what's missing, and then understand what is it that you want to do. Like, what is it you're trying to do? Some people really want to learn how to do a full glam to go out because maybe they have the basic skills already. Some people have no idea where to even start and they just want basic skills. And so I have to find out where you are and where you want to go. So we've learned now what's in your makeup bag, where you are, where you want to go. And then in the workshop is where we kind of combine everything. I've given you, before the makeup workshop, I've provided you with a list of products to get, where to go, what the costs are, an alternative in case, it's too high or too low for you, whatever. But you get a few choices of what to go and get. When you show up to the workshop, you have all the items that you particularly need. So if you're in a group online workshop, you may have bought less than someone else, or you may have bought more than someone else, but you're not even going to get the same steps. We often start out at the same spot, but then, I start having people do this and that person do that because you have different faces and you have different needs and you have different goals. And so what I'm really just trying to get across is that the workshop is really personalized to each person. I take into account what you have, what you need to get, what you already know, and where you want to go. And then I give you a step-by-step for you. So even if you're in a group, you can do a group workshop, you can do individual lessons. But regardless of what format you want to do it in, the lesson for you is still going to be individual to you. So it's not a general, everybody do the same swipes of eyeshadow. It's not the same. It's definitely tailored to each person. So that's the most important thing to know. And then I'll just add that I'm also now putting together something for preteens, because I've had a few people approach about their daughters. Their daughters are 12, 13, and they want to wear makeup, but sometimes the person who's approached me is like, I don't know what to tell them. I don't know what to recommend. I don't want them to wear too much right away. And I understand all the concerns. So I'm currently putting together something for preteens that's it's going to be a starter to makeup, so they don't overdo it, so they do the right things right away, but also so that they understand skincare, because in Africa, they teach girls about skincare from the time they're about 11 or 12. And so they get these good habits about taking care of their skin at a very young age. But for some reason in the Western world, we don't start skincare practices or anti-aging until much later, when it's not as beneficial. It's beneficial when you start early. So the skincare is going to be something I include in the whole preteen workshop. So that's something I'm putting together. But the regular workshops are definitely still on. And a couple of those are going to be coming up in December. Let me just pull up my date so I don't make a mistake. I don't want to put the wrong date out here live, and get it wrong. But so going into December, we're going to have one on December 9th, Saturday, December 9th. And then we're going to do one on Saturday, December 16th. And they're both going to be about the same time. I try to do late morning into early afternoon so that if somebody wants to wear their look out, they can do that. So it's usually, we're looking at 11 to 1:30. So it's 2.5 hours. And we take 2 breaks.
Awesome. Nice. Yeah, I do remember the time frame. And then when I came out, then my family's like, where are you going? I'm like, you're taking me for lunch.
You want to go somewhere and just kind of test it out. See if people look at you differently. I always used to tell people after we do something like, say, a bridal trial, I would say, okay, well, don't go wash your face, right? Like if you have nowhere to go to No Frills and buy something and see if the cashier compliments your face, right? I mean, you just want to wear it out and just get a feel for how how you're reacted to. So yes, 2 workshops in December, 11 to 1:30, December 9th, December 16th.
Awesome. And we will put that in the comments a bit later when I circle back. So now it's called Strategize Your Business Online. And one of the questions that I do ask all of my guests are like, which social media platforms do you love for your business and why?
So I would say my number one is Instagram. I was kind of forced into Instagram, to be honest. I would say my younger clientele was always saying, well, what's your Instagram handle? And I was like, oh, I don't really got one. I had a personal one. I still have my personal one. But I created my business one, and that's the one I give out. I think I like Instagram because it's just very, it's visually heavy, right? And for a job like mine, services that we provide, it's about visuals. So I definitely love Instagram. We do not use filters on our photos. I just want to be really clear about that. I'm not questioning anyone's ethics. I just believe that we sell our services based on visuals, and I would never want to sell based on something that we didn't actually 100% do. So we never use filters on our photos. I don't even use filters on my personal photos. I don't put filters on anything because I just want people to see this is what we are. This is what we do. This is the real thing. There's nothing artificial in here. So I do love Instagram just because it's just, lots of pictures, lots of visuals, and it's the right thing for us. Facebook is a secondary. Facebook is sort of it's a secondary, but I really focus on Instagram. I think I get more DMs on Instagram. I get more comments on Instagram. I just get more people connecting on Instagram. So I feel like I've chosen it because it chose me.
Right. And you know what? It's always great. Sometimes entrepreneurs are like, there's only one platform for me, and that's fine. And it's great if there's a second one as well, because I am in some Facebook groups and I know that it will be like, I am looking for a makeup artist, and your name will come up and people are tagging your page, or perhaps they're tagging you. So I think like if for those individuals who happen to be on Facebook, no matter what industry that you're in. Sometimes it's good just to keep a Facebook page breathing. Maybe you're putting like one post up, because if you're getting tagged into a group and then somebody goes to take a look at your work, well, then your page is right there and you don't have to put so much calories in it. So that's the good thing. Yeah. Well, okay. So Instagram and Facebook is the second one. And before we go, I have maybe 1 to 2 questions. So, what would you say are the top feelings that your clients walk away with after they've worked with you?
Well, they always say, and this is why I know that being organized is one of our strengths, because they always say, you guys are so amazing. You always answered my emails on time. You always sent me information. Like one of the best compliments, and maybe it's because I feel like I'm a bit of a writer too, somebody said, you know, whenever I get an email from you, you always go above and beyond in terms of giving me information that I need. And I love that, because I just feel like understanding what's going on in whatever part of the process you're in, it just makes people feel like they're taken care of. And so I get a lot of that, we are really on top of things in terms of giving people information, providing them with details, updating them on anything that has changed. We always get that. But then we always just get, you did a great job, which is the actual service itself, the actual quality of the job. And that's super important. So I love that. That is one of my favorite compliments as well. And just that, if I'm not there, they always say your team was great. And that to me is probably the best compliment, because I know I have people around me that I can trust and really represent me the way I want to be represented. And that's golden. That is golden.
Right. Awesome. That's amazing. So we talked about your promos that are coming up, and I'll say that again. So Amanda has her online makeup workshops happening December 9th and December 16th. So Amanda, what you can do after, oh no, I have the times here. So what I'll be doing, everybody, is that I will be putting these into the comments. So right now we are streaming live on LinkedIn and here on Facebook. And you definitely have to go, and it's just amazing, and great techniques that you like, customized techniques in a sense that you can apply to yourself.
Yes.
So Amanda, thank you so much for being on my live Strategize Your Business Online. Again, everyone who's been watching, thank you for watching, and if you haven't done so yet, please let us know, your name and where we can find you. Like, what are your social media handles so we can go and check you out online. And if you are watching the replay, do the same thing and then say replay. And a little bit later, our goal is to add these to YouTube, because I'm a believer in repurposing content. So yeah, Amanda, yeah,
Because you're a
thank you. What was that?
So that's because
What
you're
was
a
that?
strategist.
Yes,
You're
right.
an online strategist. So you're going to repurpose the heck out of everything.
I'm gonna repurpose like you wouldn't believe. Absolutely. Yeah, well, Amanda, thank you so much for being a guest on my live Strategize Your Business Online. And I will be back, everyone. I'm not too sure. We are lining up some other amazing guests. Like, we're lining up people right up to into mid-December. And we're just confirming those. We're going to be bringing up things about AI. What?
No, AI,
AI,
that's
and how is it that you can use it? Is AI bad, or can we
mm,
all use it in our business, right? So we'll be
it's a hot
talking about that.
topic.
And then,
I will
yeah,
tune
of course,
in.
yeah, I'll be, sharing some, like, doing the lives, like just myself sharing some really great nuggets about your marketing online. So be back next week, everybody. And thank you, everyone, for watching, and have a blessed day. Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Dee. You're wonderful.
Thank you.